I'm Jason Carter. Physical optimization defines my life. The day I was born, doctors nearly killed me with medical malpractice. They said I'd never walk. I've been proving them wrong for 35 years. It's easier than you think to obtain super optimal health. I've devoted my life to it, and with my help, you can too. I'm Jason Carter, and this is ENZYMENTAL. And welcome to ENZYMENTAL. I'm Jason Carter, and continuing our discussion about the ketogenic diet, how do you achieve ketosis? Ketone production is the body's natural response to very low or no carbohydrate availability, as we've discussed. The ketogenic diet was actually developed to mimic the effects of fasting while still supplying adequate nutrition to maintain health. The classic ketogenic diet, developed in the early 1900s for children with epilepsy, consisted of a 3 or 4 to 1 ratio of fats to protein and carbohydrates combined, supplying up to 90% of the daily calories from fats. More recently, modified versions have emerged with similar rates of efficacy, and the wider variety of food and flexibility make the ketogenic diet far less difficult to achieve. Two such possible modifications are a 1-to-1 and a 2-to-1 ratio of fats to combine protein and carbohydrates, and or the addition of MCT oil, which of course is medium-chain triglycerides. The medium-chain fats that make up MCTs more readily produce ketones than the long-chain fats commonly found in the diet, so this allows for a lower amount of total fat intake and therefore increases the amount of carbohydrate and proteins that can be included in the diet. In practice, a ketogenic diet is one that keeps net carbohydrates below 50 grams per day. Although the absolute number necessary to achieve ketosis is an individual thing. It depends on your metabolism, and it may be even as high as 100 grams a day for some people. And because fiber is indigestible when eaten, it's usually not included in the carbohydrate count on a ketogenic diet. Therefore, net carbohydrates equals the total amount of carbohydrates minus fiber. Including some protein and carbohydrates on a ketogenic diet is important too, because it supplies the needed substrate for the body to produce ketones, but too much of it can interfere with ketosis. A ketogenic diet usually includes low to moderate amounts of meat, fish, poultry, and eggs, moderate amounts of low-carb vegetables such as leafy greens and broccoli, and lots of healthy fats like avocados, nuts and seeds, coconut oil, olive oil, grass-fed butter. Any of these would work. Okay, so what can you expect on the ketogenic diet? When a person starts on a low-carb ketogenic diet, it takes the body several days to maybe even a few weeks to shift from relying on glucose to instead relying on fat. During this transition, people may experience what is sometimes referred to as the keto flu, and that's usually defined by muscle cramps, headaches, fatigue, dizziness, nausea, and sugar and carb cravings. There may also be increased urination, which can result in a loss of minerals like sodium and potassium. So to counter these effects, you should really strive to get more minerals, and in particular more sodium and potassium, into your diet. And a great way to do that is to put trace mineral liquid drops into your water, because those usually contain all 72 minerals from the whole mineral spectrum. Try to get some exercise every day and ensure adequate caloric intake, so in other words, don't skip meals, as I've told you many times before. Once the body becomes keto adapted, these symptoms largely clear up on their own, and many people actually report increased energy and decreased carb cravings. And these are simple carbs like pizza, pasta, chips, crackers, cookies, alcohol, and even these people who stick with it even report weight loss over time. So once you've adapted your body to ketosis, constipation and or diarrhea are most commonly reported side effects, along with increased urination. Continuing to keep your mineral intake high and ensuring adequate water and fiber intake will help to counter these effects. People in ketosis may also notice a sweet or fruity odor on their breath, and that's typically the result of increased production of the ketone acetone, which is a very volatile compound that is eliminated typically through respiration in the lungs. Part of the resurgence in interest in the ketogenic diet is due primarily to the work of course, Dr. Atkins and the Atkins diet and his famous low-carb diet for weight loss. There is actually strong evidence to support the use of the ketogenic diet as a weight loss therapy. So people following a low-carb diet tend to lose more weight in the first 3 to 6 months than those following a more traditional diet. Part of the benefit likely comes from the fact that the ketogenic diets tend to suppress appetite and lead to a natural decrease in calorie intake ketogenic since you're not eating all those simple carbs that are so easy to find and so cheap. But even in studies where participants on a low-carb diet ate the same number of calories per day as those on a low-fat diet, significant differences in weight loss were also observed. So this is likely because ketosis relies on fat from the diet and body fat to produce ketones for energy. The ketogenic diet is even very helpful for metabolic syndrome and diabetes. There have been several studies that have evaluated the effects of a low-carbohydrate, high-fat ketogenic diet on type 2 diabetes, which of course is the form of diabetes that sets in after years of sedentary lifestyle and high carb and sugar diets. And these studies have had very promising results. So among the benefits seen are improved blood glucose profiles, improved insulin sensitivity, improvements in hemoglobin A1C, decreased triglycerides, increased HDL cholesterol, that's commonly thought of as the good cholesterol, and an improved total cholesterol to HDL ratio. So these improvements not only support those with existing type 2 diabetes, but also those who have the cluster of symptoms known as metabolic syndrome or syndrome X. Thanks for watching. I'm Jason Carter, and I'll see you next time on ENZYMENTAL. Stay healthy.